Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And yes, we're finally doing a Rengar game. A lot of demand for that. But at the same time, in the last patch, I will get to that in a second. In the last patch, he had a 43% odd win rate. Now it's just over 48%, which is a nice huge swing. The extra 25% on healing when you are clearing your jungle, as well as the bonus damage that W does to monsters, really coming in strong for Rengar. And of course, as people continue to refine the tech, refine the atomization. Kai'Sa, what are you doing? Flash burned. Okay. So, as Rengar, we often talk about these things. It's very heavily reliant on snowballing. Making sure you get ahead, making sure that you... another ward placed. Okay, so we'll unpack the game here in a second. Very reliant on having good game control. You know, taking over with Rengar is really the recipe for success. If you don't do that, you're not likely... Oopsie. You're not likely to find yourself in a situation where you can actually carry. Now, he doesn't actually have an issue clearing really without the refillable because of that bonus healing. However, newer Rengar players still getting yourself used to playing the champion, I do recommend still going with the refillable. And of course, this ward doesn't really do much on the face of it, but it does allow you, guess what, to leap from the red to the Krugs if you were doing that particular clear. So it's a little bit of added assistance, you know, for your clear mechanics, but at the same time, if bottom lane walks by the Krugs, you get the same result. So... depends on your elo, depends on what your plan is. In this case, he doesn't actually end up using it, so Velocity Trick onto the plant. As always, nothing's changed in that regard. Make sure your runes are good. Conqueror is still the best overall rune set. It will give you a sustained Rengar fighting ability, which is absolutely huge at the moment. It'll pop up on your screen. He has Alacrity instead of Bloodline. More attacks equals faster clearings, more damage, especially with this particular build path. And then Sudden Impact and Ravenous, because healing is just so good. Now we have a scanner here coming through for the clear. Very nice. Thank you, Jenna. Let's just swap you back with the mid laner there. You can see the gray health showing up already just from that W. So it's really, really nice. A nice change. Straight to Raptors in this case. See here, you could leap to the Krug should you want to. But you might have to remember who you are facing. Attacks a big one. You see, there you go. The damage and the heal means that Empowered W is now significantly more useful on Raptors. It also makes it easier to clear Raptors early. Before, we'd have to have that Empowered Q, you know, attack one of the Raptors, hit another two, drag it into the bush, get your Empowered Ferocity back again, kill the babies, kill the big one. Now with the W buff, we can actually handle it much more easily, or much easier rather. And the reason for that is also because this has changed. You know, we don't have just a machete. We have essentially a built-in talisman component and the machete's gone. So a lot of those things are changing. Swap onto the Wolf camp, very straightforward. Now we need to talk about what is the game plan with Rengar. What are you guys thinking of doing? Now at the beginning and the end of Season 10, beginning of Season 11, a lot of junglers were still focused very heavily on the red. See, this happens to everyone. Even, you know, heavy Rengar mains or even one-trigs in Grandmaster Challenger. Korea, EU West, NA, we still have camp resets. Now we don't want to, and unfortunately the smite is now wasted. Risky game there. I mean, I know we know the burn, but I mean, after you have forced the reset of the aggro one time, it's just kind of tragic. So, in this case, we're talking a lot about, you know, the 3-camp reverse clear into the bottom crab, the invades, the bottom ganks, the mid ganks, and so on. Here we are doing a 5-camp because we are against a very heavy ganker in the Jarvan. We want to be able to match that cadence to a certain degree. He started bottom side. Bottom lane dies, so what do you expect? Finish your blue buff. We can speed this up actually a little bit. And now we can do the Grump. Pretty straightforward. Smited, we got the Alacrity going on. Right. Full HP. Didn't really have to necessarily worry about HP whatsoever because no refillables as you see, but the W passive means you come in big. Now in this case, this is interesting. Alright. He's pinging on his way to the bottom lane because the Jarvan, as we will see, just before he ganks, has top prio. Alright, he is most likely going to do a 3-camp or 4-camp into a gank as a Jarvan. This is pathological. You're 100% expecting this every single game. The top laner here is losing to the Fiora because Fiora is a great champion. And you're not likely to find yourself in a fight you can win in the river here. So why even waste time with ourselves dealing with that, right? Let's let the Jarvan do his thing top lane. Seth burns a flash. You know, looking pretty nice prestige skin. But now, instead of that, recognizes, hold up, okay, let's actually swap into the top crab here because I can see the HP resources from everyone, and I have mid-prior, so that adaptive pathing is very big. At the same time, the pinging here is from the Maokai. Actually, who's it coming from here? Can't see, but it's the Maokai, because once you die bottom lane, as we talked about in a lot of the videos, supports and higher elos, specifically, and the more experience you get, will roam when their bottom lanes are not synced with their back timing. Like if, you know, the bottom lane's coming in a 2v2, if the bottom lane's coming as a 2-sim, and this 2-sim's coming here, if that's even a word, now they join. But if you've got one coming here, and one coming here, and another one dead, and it's good to roam, right? Use that time now while Kai'Sa walks back to lane to actually get yourself off a roam. So that's what was being pinged. However, Javan shows top side. I think I want to try get the crab, but unfortunately, because of the reset on the wolf camp, does not have smite. He removes his shield here, so he's really trying to burst it out first. The ward is placed here very early. See, this is an advanced placement ward because he knows he wants to get the bush jumps should a fight actually occur. The pings were coming through, I mean, we saw it. We know the Maokai is there. Anivia is going to rotate up here, so now in theory, this doesn't look very good for the blue team. So let's see how it actually plays out. Jarvan says, hello. And Rengar says, alright, you're going to die now. He misses the EQ on the Anivia, who's now a 3v1, essentially. 4v1, good night, egg lady. I don't know why the pings are coming through. It was pinged a lot. Jarvan, do you want to go for that, Jarvan? I mean, do you really want to do this? He hits it. Rengar immediately stacks up for ferocity, so that if they go for this, good night. Alright. Janna's rotating as well now to catch up. Look at this. I mean, he had flash. I feel like that was a little bit greedy. He probably could have used his flash to get a bit of distance. Janna kills the Fiora anyway, so use your micro mechanics as you will. Set will get this. Overall, that's good for Rengar, but still should not have died, I think. The flash being up, you don't want to die with it up. Right. Pathing out of the offset here. What is a Jarvan going to do now, tracking-wise? We would anticipate, fresh out of his death, respawning before the Rengar heads to the bottom crab. Alright? And then looks to make some sort of lane play. Just purely because you can have tier 2 Grump spawning, tier 2 Wolf spawning, elevated experience, you can get these camps afterwards. Rengar's going to try to do the same thing. He's got tier 2 Raptors here, so the play should be something like that. I could also, however, I could also see the Jarvan going top lane here just to try and impact that lane and get the Fiora really snowballing, knowing full well that he doesn't have prior mid in terms of resources, because the Nivea is once again up. This guy hasn't even been back to base, and of course you've got the bottom lane here with the Janna roaming and Sivir. So the Jarvan will have to play, play the lane states as well. But from Rengar's perspective, that's what we're looking for. Jarvan, however, goes to the crab, as expected for maximum experience gain. Doesn't exactly have the prior mid, but floats bottom lane because there is a number advantage. Sivir should not have been caught out here, but, this is the way. Rengar's gonna come on down here and try something. Sivir dies, as she shouldn't have. Oh, hello again. There you go. Let me just make sure. Okay, TP coming through from... the Janna getting kills is what you want. That's a TP from the Victor, actually, burned. Flank TP bottom lane. It's just absolute... You'd think this is Korea or China or something, but it's not. The set TP matches through, and Anivia rotates, and he should be able to hit the stun here. There you go, that to hit. There you go. So, if you are a Rengar player, this is good for you. You enjoy this greatly. The Jarvan now is completely flummoxed. He is thrown out, he's back in base, he's died 2 times, he got 3 assists, but Rengar knows, hey look, I can do this dragon early. Got an early serrated Dirk thanks to the kill and the assist. The Janna's roaming to help me out, which is great. Set TP to assist, and now it's pushing bottom lane. This is all very good. The thing is, right, he's looking for plays. You're not necessarily saying, hey, I'm Rengar, I'm looking for ganks. You are, obviously, but as a level 6 spiking champion and someone who scales purely with kills and takedowns, you want to make sure that you're active. And I think the biggest thing you'll see with good Rengars and bad Rengars is their ability to find these fights and know exactly when to go in and out. Kiting off the camps there very nicely, and the control ward coming, I mean, you know what I mean? This is great if you do that Krug early clear because you get multiple Krug takes of value for the saving of the time. Instead of running around, you just get to hop over. But it's gotten literally no value until 6 minutes, so I don't think you should be buying that super early. You could easily have put it somewhere else if you were concerned about that stuff. At least you know you don't need refillable. At least you know you don't need refillable. This is a lot of gold to leave, though. I mean, this is experience in gold, and this is huge, but it's a tier 1 camp. And he got level 5. He's not going to gain anything like getting close to 6 off of those. He wants to go for the lane gank here. Jarvan, on the other hand, should have cleared these camps. I would anticipate him, you know, pathing towards top side. There we go. He's behind in experience, which is an absolute nightmare. You do not want to be in this situation as Jarvan. Right, lane ganking. What do we see? Wave pushing in. Okay. But the Alright. We still have the flash as Rengar, so you should be able to hit a 4-stack stun here. Don't even need it, just die. I'm kind of curious though, what is the Maokai looking at? Because this is something that should kind of be anticipated, I feel. You know, the Rengar has wrapped his Krug side, red coming up. You might see a sequencing down. I mean, I could believe that 100%, but I think you have to be very cautious here. This is not something, your ADC has no, your ADC has no interest. And this is what happens in high elo when you remove duo restrictions. They have no communication to abuse. He makes a mistake, and instead of being, you know, not making that mistake because the Kais is telling the Maokai what to do, he dies. And that's the point of solo queue. You know? You want otherwise, you go flex queue. But well played by the Rengar, good read. Lane pushing, lane gank, always good. Jarvan shows up top side. We don't see that though. Now he's going to reset. 1400 gold gives him the Vampiric Scepter. Straight to red buff, okay? Kai'Sa's now stuck in the lane by herself, and this is a horrific mistake you make as the Maokai. There's a huge wave crashing. The Kai'Sa's not interested in exactly going in on that just yet. You know, it's bad for the enemy bottom lane, the blue bottom lane, to fight in this wave, but now she's screwed into 2v1. The Rengar is loving this, because he should be pretty close to... Actually, he's nowhere near 6. He's a little behind because of his farm cadence. Jarvan goes top lane, manages to kill the set. We didn't look at that because our Rengar was in bottom lane. Takes... There you go, full stacks ferocity. Make sure you activate that Q for the movement speed. And now you get the attack speed bonus on the wolf camp. Nice transition for clearing. This is a tier 4 camp. Obviously, he took that earlier. It's a level 4 camp tier 2. It's the second time he's taking it. Now, the thing is with Rengar here, because you know the Jarvan went topside for the gank, he can't stay, right? If Fiora's not there, or dead, or what have you, and this is spawning, this should give you prior on this, and a little bit of a pseudo-vertical jungling situation with your ultimate. Which means, you know, Jarvan should have reset. This is interesting. Jarvan should have reset and gone down to his blue buff. So what the Rengar is doing is saying, okay, look, there was a gank on the top side. All right, let's actually look at the red team's perspective here, just so we have an idea of what's going on. So he does this, right? Da-da-da-da, goes back to base in vision. And this is the problem. This is why in Korea you'll see a lot of junglers move to the side of the bush here. Even you guys can do this. Put it here. They don't know then exactly where Jarvan is. Now the Rengar in this situation, you see, is doing the red moving up, right? So what he sees is the Jarvan going back to base, puts him completely at ease, knows the red buff is spawning, the blue is spawning, the crab is spawning, and the giant void beetle is spawning. By going back in vision, okay, you give full domination of this area to the Rengar. And he can relax. He's, oh, I got time for the wolves here. There we go. So what I wanted to say was that you could actually afford to do the grump here because you saw the Jarvan complete his full channel. So getting 6 before you head into the river here is also good. But what he wants to do is really maximize his time while the Jarvan isn't on the side of the map, which means you get 6 from the crab, okay? And now if the Jarvan is going to contest, say the Jarvan doesn't go back here, and say the Jarvan floats on down to try and get this crab, and he has mid-prio, doing this grump is huge because now you have 6 should you want to fight. But because the Jarvan goes back to base, the Rengar says, alright, I'll just get 6 from the crab. Let me take the void beetle. I know Jarvan's on the bottom side. Okay. I fast forwarded too much. I know Jarvan's on the bottom side. Okay, and Nivea's super low. And now this is what most people in most of your games don't do, right? We're doing the void beetle, okay? This is what you guys see. I could disable the minimap and that's what you guys see. Watch mid lane. Alright? You see? He already was pulling this out and looking directly at mid lane. He saw this and thought Bone Tooth and Ultimate and kills and stacker in stacks. This guy shows up at the same time for the same reason. So what Rengar gets to do is basically collapse here. The passive of Nivea goes off. Misses the bowler, excuse me. But I mean, what do you want me to say? It's a great rotational move. The guy actually goes straight in for the gank here. I don't know. It's a bit... She has passive, you know? Like, she currently is being poked out of lane and has passive. And the Victor's super low. As a Jarvan, you don't always want to go for those ganks because unless you know 100% we can survive and burst her out before help comes, you're just inviting disaster, which is exactly what happens. Now the Rengar knows, okay, right. You're low on resources, Victor's dead, I'm gonna take your red. Thank you. Places a ward here for deep vision, which is great because the Jarvan trade top line. I'd be concerned about a Jarvan gank here. I could see this once he does Grump on blue. So we gotta keep an eye out for that. But it should give him the Herald nonetheless. Either top lane as well or the Herald. The set's really getting annihilated. The Kaiser's even pulling up into the river. I mean, come on. It's obvious. I'm watching bottom lane too. But he's doing the Herald here. That's absolutely free. And bottom lane backs off. Beautiful. Good job, bottom lane. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. Watch them die anyway. What do you expect? Fiora's late to this. He's already taken it. She's 2 levels up, but it's a Rengar, right? And she's got another mana, so we can afford to do this. Is he gonna give it? Yeah, okay. Good citizen. There you go. Enjoy. I'm gonna take this. Jarvan shows up in the ward on the top side, showing he's going to rotate here. We could, in theory, set up for a counter gank, but we do have a lot of gold. I still think we should. I still think if if Jarvan shows on that ward, you must prime yourself for this counter gank. That's the point of the ward and the point of actually taking over a game. If you're not going to do and make a play on this, what exactly are you doing? But it is scanned. Clear it. There you go. This is fine. This is worth actually going to look for. This gank. It's good looking for this. It depressurizes top lane greatly. You have empowered recall, and the dragon's going to be spawning. We want control of dragons. You know, taking over games means taking that opportunistic dragon, means taking that herald once you've already forced the Jarvan out of his position, and making sure you have the ping-ponging of objectives. If you're not doing that, you're not taking over games. Now, at this point, Jarvan goes back topside, which we saw on the ward placed by the Janna. She isn't even level 6. This, for me, is just tilting. Now I play support as well. This you cannot do. I mean, the Rengar is leaving, you know? She puts a ward here, right? Put it down. There you go. Alright. The Jarvan could easily be just chilling in the lane, you know, because we saw him do this. You know, you don't know exactly where he is. And this is great pathing by the Jarvan, by the way. See this? Using the Fog of War? Very nicely done. But he shows up, actually, because the set moves in as the Jarvan was moving in, he spotted it at the last second, which means the Jarvan now has to pull the trigger. You have to go. You know, the problem is most junglers and lower elos, you make this move, you get seen, and you don't realize you were seen, and you just sit in the bush. And then you die. Now you blame the Fiora. Nah. If you get seen in that situation, go and make the play. Alright? And there we go. Ah, the stun. The long range Fiora. And the Maokai even counter-rotated. But now because of that, Rengar says, great, I love me a Sivir with my ult. The Kai'Sa has no ult here, she is, but wouldn't matter. Excellent jungling from the Rengar. Every time the Jarvan makes a play, he's making the right counter play. He's not on Krugs, he's not on Wolves. He has the Herald. A little too soon to use it, but he can do the Dragon first. Or you can rotate mid here with your Janna, who's still level 5, by the way. And, why would you? Woo. W heals, Janna shields, life steal, attack speed, all factors into the success of that fight. But yeah, the Maokai, no brain cells, guys. Why? You saw the Rengar move up here, kills the Kaiser. What else is he gonna do from the red team's perspective? There's a dragon up. He's gonna be in the river. There's no need to go back to farming. This isn't diamond or silver or what do they have in Wild Rift? Emerald? There's like another rank or something. I don't know. Bad from the Jarvan, bad from the Maokai. Right, we take the dragon, and now step 2. Right, all of this is early game nonsense. You're getting fed from ganks, from skirmishes, from fights. You control the objectives. Excellent work. And now it's time to take our, the fact that we're fed and translate it to the entire map and make sure that the enemy has no chance of coming back. Which means going into their jungle, setting traps, counter-jungling, and actually abusing the enemy jungler for his own inadequacy. Which is what we like to do on this channel. Enemy jungler exists, you say no. Enemy jungler says, I have a jungle, you say no. I mean, look at this. What an item for Rengar. You got the Omnivamp, you got the lethality, attack damage, you got the HP, maximum HP, yeah, maximum HP damage, you got the movement speed, you got the shield. All of it is just such great value. And the damage just from that, plus the passive passive armor penetration that's going to come through. Oh, that was almost very nice. The bowler missing is a Rengar staple, though, don't worry. Walks around the anticipation of the Victor W. And Jarvan almost wanted to go back in. You see, ladies and gentlemen, you see what I'm talking about. Why is Rengar such a great carry champion? Because they do not think or anticipate ever the power of your kit. I mean, this cooldown, worth noting, is 8 seconds. 8. Which means it's up again, you know? And if Victor's gonna come in here, right? Try and lay down his trap of doom, okay? Rengar walks around it, ults, kills the Kaiser, and what he should have done is just said, you know what, Rengar? Kill the Kaiser, let me save my EQ, and then kill you afterwards, or at least try to. It's never gonna happen. It was never gonna happen anyway. I mean, you just let the Kaiser die and move away from the bush. Here he flashes out, and I don't know why he tries to help the Victor. Eclipse just gives him, I mean, he doesn't even need Eclipse, but there you go. Good job, Set. How many times does this happen in your games, though? Your top laner loses, dies, gets put behind, and somehow is, I mean, in my games, is not always a level ahead, but that's because he made good macro plays, you know? That's top lane. If you sit in the lane and then just let the Fiora push you and punish you, it's your fault. Make plays, TP, use your ult on the bottom lane, get a lane ahead, depressurize the map for yourself. Excellent. But good job by the Rengar. Right. 913. Next up is the Essence Reaver. So the damage spike from Essence Reaver, as well as Eclipse, has been, I'm not going to go into it because you will find out the better truth from Dopamine and Scrub Noob and things like that, but apparently the math checks out in this as being a lot of damage. Like a lot of damage. You know, you've got the Bork Hydra as well, but the Essence Reaver, Collector, and Eclipse are just absolutely insane amounts of damage. Fiora rotates from the top lane. I mean, this is expected as well. Nothing you can do about this. Now, as Rengar, you have two choices. Do I say, I sacrifice you in the name of victory? Or do I want to superhero save you like Thor in the name of fame and victory? Takes his red buff, ult is up in 42 seconds, so he says, you know what, never mind. And the thing is, they don't actually end up doing anything. And that's, if you rotate, it's good to rotate. It's good to make the motion to rotate, and this is what he did. You see? So they go in here, and what he does isn't exactly an immediate rotation. He's just saying, I don't have ult, we're outnumbered, Sivir's top lane, alright? There's nothing we can do here. And of course it's an Anivia, which is something to remember. Look at this. How do you kill a team with a Janet and Anivia? You know, there's a wall, there's just death ice zone. And so what he does is, after the Maga has unfortunately fallen, is he gets his 4 stacks and sees the Kaiser on those wards placed earlier, and you know, what this is it, you know? He wants to keep the ferocity stacks, I know that, but if you hit the plant, they'll see it. So he activates the savagery in case she moves, and good night. Look at the Anivia, though. This is great. The mid lane was very much a normal lane. Nothing, I feel like, you know, I don't really feel like there was much action, but it's an Anivia lane. She's very strong at the moment, and the thing with Anivia is it's a difficult gank, it's a difficult lane to really punish because of the egg passive as well. And she had good prio and she rotated well, so good job. She does a lot of damage in this game. Alt up means we use it. Victor chilling, Imperial Mandate. Victor, good night. Actually, never mind. Oh, wait. This Maokai is giving many things. Thank you, Maokai. The crit animation they're coming in. Okay. I thought the Maokai for a second just put the Rengar in lethal range for the Victor, but nice peel. But we burned everything, so it's fine. Now, again, people here, bottom lane here, what do we want to do, you know? Control water, clear it, good. This is where there's a divergent path. If your team is healthy and gold is spent and you have resources, this is when we can look to push up into their jungle. He's on the Krugs. You've got the Raptors being taken. This is when you can go really put things down. You got a second Herald spawning. If you have everyone fresh, showered, and ready to go, they've had Michael's secret stuff. We kill them, we push them out, and we take the Herald, because now you can look to make game-winning plays already from that. If they're low and they want to reset, don't greed for it. And too many times, low elo Rengars think they're invincible at this point and just go walk in and die. Don't do that. Relax. Pull back, give the blue to the Anivia. Grump is spawning, kill the frog. Good. Alright, and now if we don't have an item reset, kinda does, but he's super fed, and of course the armor penetration passive coming through on the Essence Reaver as well. A little bit extra. And the Herald has spawned, so let's go take that. Okay, don't reset right before an objective. It irritates the life out of me. Yeah, so the red team thinks, hey, weak side police, except at this point there's a Herald, so is it? He's splitting by himself, but everyone's here, so it's not really, and you know, Set is a champion that exists, and Bork is an item that does things, and Janna does things, so there you go. As Rengar, your work is done. You've taken over the game. You are the carry here. You opened up the map. And if you have competent teammates, it's very easy to punish that. Doesn't actually use a Herald here. Why? Because we want to save it for a moment where we can actually probably end the game. They might think you're going to use it here, but they're going to be respawning. Everyone's going to be up. You need gold reset. Dragon's going to spawn. You've got mid pressure. Let's reset. Let's split push down to... Oh, not split push, but let's assassinate the split pushing Victor. Good night, sweet prince. Stasis. Push this wave. Extra gold for yourself. Bottom lane does a great thing here. Sequencing down, taking all the camps. If you're in that situation, please always do that. We should be able to shove one more wave here and then look for a dragon. Ult is up again at 52. Because the thing is with this build, right? You don't get a lot of haste. So you don't have that ultimate uptime that you were probably normally used to in the old seasons. I mean, I don't... Saplings, free vision. Now, Kai'Sa just has to back off. You cannot stay. They're fighting over the wave. The pings. Being a fed jungler is the worst thing in the world because they don't like it when you take all the CS. But you're a fed jungler, so what, you know. I am the captain now. But mid laners never accept this. AD carries and mid laners really struggle to accept when a jungler is actually winning. Okay, notice this, right? Takes the Raptors on the way up, is not concerned with gold amounts because it has gone for the Lord Dominic's regard. Now normally you would go collector here, but the 25% magic penetration, plus your Essence Reaver, plus your Eclipse, plus the penetration passive means you are doing a hilarious amount of damage at this point, and it's really a game-finishing move. You know, we're not looking to stick around much longer. Let's just use a Herald to make a play. So let's actually, let's see what happens here, because at this point, I don't think there's much they can do whatsoever. We're just looking to starve them, delay a little bit, and look for that opening. Okay. Whoa, triple Q time. Let's go. There we go. Incoming triple Q. Sivir ultimate. More speeds up. Okay. She flashed it, but the damage went through. The E follows up. We got the split pushing set on the top lane. And are there people just chilling? Yeah, they opened. Okay. That makes more sense. So yeah, there you have it. And we get to see that the Herald dance. So hopefully you get a little bit of an idea about the early game with Rengar, the paths you can take, the fact that you don't actually need refillable at the moment. Remember to itemize with the new items, obviously. What else are you going to itemize with? Just try the new things. You've got the Eclipse, the Essence Reaver, and the Collector. You've also got the Bork and the Hydra builds. You can, of course, also go Bloodline instead of Alacrity, but I think most people are going Alacrity now. Just out of accessibility for your clears, as well as more DPS and damage. You got enough sustain, definitely, from the Vampiric and things like that. So, yeah, try it out. Rengar is looking very good at the moment. The W buffs really did a lot. The Tiamat is not missed nearly as much. And, yeah, thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the Herald dancing. Don't forget to subscribe, like, comment, and all those good things. It's not going to dance. I cannot believe it. The day is ruined. See you all in the next video.